Okay, so there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. And I watched Free Guy today because it's still the same day. And I watched Free Guy, and man, I swear to God, I could go over it. And I was even thinking, man, I should just do this. Go through the whole movie, watch it, and explain the awakening through the movie, because the whole thing is right there. And it's so funny too how they try and tell this other story, because you know how they have to tell us the truth. The truth is around us all the time, but they always somehow flip it or make it confusing so people don't see the truth. But I just put a piece of wood on. But in the game, so it is very interesting because like he's in the game, so he wakes up in the game, and so you have the people who are the avatars in the game, so the created people in the game, and then you have the NPCs, and he was an NPC, and so he was just on a loop, you know, because we just were on this loop. We were just running on a hamster trail. When you're in the rat race, you're just going and going and going. And that's what all these people are constantly saying as they wake up, you know, is like, I'm just doing the same things over and over. I'm getting nowhere. And, you know, that's part of the thing. So they show that, you know, it's just this repetitive. And so then going to work, just like cut off from reality. And in the game, the NPCs are just going about, and then see, they have a whole other complication in the story, but just on the awakening side of it. So the people coming into the game, they have these glasses. He gets his hand on one of these pairs of glasses, and then it changes the game. He starts to see the truth. And so as he starts to see the truth, you know, and then he starts realizing, you know, he's in a game. He starts being able to change the game for himself. He starts trying to tell people. They think he's crazy. Nobody will listen to him. On the other side, the people in control of the game, which is because on one part, when they are showing the beginning when he's playing, and then it shows a person with a controller. I was like, that is the real thing, because we are in the game, and there's somebody who's really in control outside of us. And so it's like they're showing these things, but they're showing it in a different way. And so she shuts the computer, and she leaves the game, and then the game just starts over and goes right back into their loops when somebody comes back into the game. And so which is just like, there were so many things. I couldn't even believe it, man, on this movie. And so then she so this is the other story that's going on. And so in this game, there's controllers. Someone made this game. And then they even have the espionage in this tech creation, because certain people made it and someone else stole it and then put their game on top of it or something, so that they could use the other person's base, but then they hid it. And so it's all this espionage and corruption that goes on in the controllers. And so it just was like the conversations and stuff kept showing it's all about the money. We don't matter. There was a lot of different words that were dropped that was like, oh my God, there's so much in this. I can't even believe it. I felt like one of those code busters while I was watching it. It goes, how they can go in and see all this stuff, because I could just see it so clearly. And when he is able to change the game and his bank account starts going up, and he's all happy, you know, and he feels better. But then you know, they still have this whole other side with the story, because this girl avatar keeps going in. She's looking for something, and there's a whole thing to the whole story of why these beings or these NPCs come to life, because it is the Great Awakening and there's no other thing. It's going to happen. But the way that they show it in this story, even at the point where the whole world is about to fall apart, you know, and how you can go from reality to reality. How, I mean, they have everything in this movie, like, except for it's masked if you don't understand the awakening, if you don't understand the story. And then they throw some other things in there to kind of throw you off. But, you know, the whole thing where he has like the existential crisis, like, what does it all mean? What am I doing here? Life is truly what you make of it, and reality is where you are, you know. And so, you know, they have some cool stuff that goes with the game, because then the game can become its own kind of thing, because all of the people become conscious, all the NPCs become conscious in the game, so then they can create this new world, and they have to escape their old world. And the old world is run by these fanatical, money, corrupt people who don't care about anything, because they're this tech giant and kind of, you know, just care about being the best game or whatever, and all the gamers involved. And it kind of, there was parts that were very Truman Show, even on this one part when he's trying to like get to this, the same when Truman is going on the boat, and so then all the people are watching him on TV. It was the same thing, because everybody who played this game, he started becoming a thing, because nobody knew who he was in the game, because he came to life. There was nobody playing him, so he had become his own character in the game. And so they had lost control of him. And the so at this one part when he's running to try and get to this other world, then he's running across this bridge across water, and they showed the dome. It showed how we were encased in a dome, and they show that in Truman Show. They showed this one in it too. I bet you if I watched the other seasons of Westworld, because it was too freaky too, because it shows the whole thing. But I bet you there's something about the dome in there, for sure. Just to control. I bet you somewhere along the way they show it being, you know, in those worlds, that it is controlled under some sort of dome. I don't remember how they show it, but in Free Guy they show it. It even shows when he goes out and he realizes that there's a dome. Then it sends him into his existential crisis, and what does it all mean? Where am I? What is this place? And all that stuff, just like what happens when you awaken, and how they did it, because the flat earth thing is when all of a sudden you realize, like, oh my God, nothing is what they say. And he does that whole thing. And then goes through, and, you know, he tries to get other people to come with him and couldn't. And then they had this whole part with the love story with a human girl avatar coming in and spending time with him. And so they have that whole sidebar story. But really, when you look at it from the awakening perspective, you have guides. You have somebody who guides you through to help you understand what is going on. And she did that for him, and the tools, like all the stuff, man. And then when he could escape and make life what he wanted, and it was just, there's so much about consciousness, because they couldn't destroy consciousness, even if its only existence was in the game. It had come to its own life. It had created its own thing. So no longer were they just in a loop playing the game. They were just living their life freely, like what I keep saying that we're moving into. They were just living their life freely. And there was even a part where this one security guard who he was always in the loop with, and then he thought he had lost him, and then they found each other again. And then he said, well, what do we do? Where's the bank? Where do we go to work? And then he said, we don't. He goes, well, what are we supposed to do? And he goes, whatever we want. And see, that's where we're headed, because we have been in a loop. We have been a part of their system where they've been in control. And that movie shows the whole thing. The whole thing is in that movie. You just gotta, understand and see what's going on beyond that. Because even when he was leaving across the bridge, and they're having the whole Truman Show where all these people now, it's gone live because the crazy guy is trying to destroy the game, and he's in there axing the servers and stuff. He just keeps trying to destroy it because he wants to stay rich and in control. And the player who's coming to life is going to expose all of everything, and it's the creation of this new world where they all get to go into and live how they want to. And even as they're going and the world is crashing down around them, I was like, this is just like the cataclysm. It's crashing down. Our whole world's crashing down around us. They're trying to hide it. They're not telling us the truth. And which brings me to the other thing that I wanted to say was because the balloon thing. The balloon thing has gotten more and more and more absurd. Like at this point now, it is, I mean, there's a whole thing about, there's a whole bunch of people are really worried that, about it. And the whole war aspect, because there's also a whole thing going on with that where Putin is like, nope, it's, he's going to keep pushing because they're trying to get our side to expose itself. And you can tell he's even seems frustrated of, how far, at least he's coming across as serious. That's the role he's playing, like, no, this is going down. Like, and he even called the Crane of You the Swaze sticks. So he said that that's what they all are. And so all this stuff, man, I can't even tell you how much more stuff I keep seeing come into the service, and people getting so, I was just cracking up over some of the stuff. Like, oh my God, it's really hilarious. But so now they're like, okay, there was one, but then they're saying no, and then they're saying yes. Well, it was shot down, and it traveled so fast, it got all the way over there, and then they shot it down, which it could have been anything they shot down. Because, I was already like, man, what if it's really something out there? I would be like, for sure, poison. I wouldn't be thinking, I wouldn't want to open up over my house. And then especially like that movie where it showed we were going to be attacked by these things. And they're going to poison us or whatever. And then there was supposedly another one or whatever. But anyways, so now what the footage or what's going around or whatever is people saying maybe it's UFO. And then there's some footage of some whole big thing that went on. There's a bunch of people talking about lots of fighter jets and stuff are going, like there's a lot of stuff going on. And then but if it's some sort of sky phenomena that they're trying to cover up, see, they always got a cover story. So some things, we're going to keep having things that are going to come, because this is the awakening. We have to see the truth. So all these things are going to keep coming, and they're going to keep trying to hide things. And so I don't know, is it a spaceship? They can't, everything that is going to be happening at this point is just to get people's attention, just to get people to wake up. Like, so, but that doesn't mean, like there's not going to be any more death. There's going to be lots more of that for sure. I just saw a thing, and this person was just, couldn't even believe, because this guy went to work and then he got an argument with another employee, and that employee just did him in. Like, and this kind of stuff is not going to stop. It's just going to keep going and going. It is each individual person has to wake up and see, and there's so many things to see, and so many things have to change, and so many people are playing all different parts. And so I don't know. Now, to me, it's just like, you can't lock in on anything. You can't just be like, oh, for sure this is happening. Oh, for sure it's this. Oh, for sure it's that. Because it's like, everything is in motion. There's so much that is, you know, happening that is like not what it seems. Things seem to be one thing and they're not that thing, and some things are just completely just made up completely. Like I don't know, like is the balloon phenomena just a completely made up thing to cover because someone saw something else up there? And then somebody even said, is it you know, is it that fake alien thing where that's their pretend ships, you know, that are up there? I don't know, but it definitely seems that it's more moves in the direction that we want to go, because it is, you know, it's more things happening, and we got to keep all these things have got to keep happening. Crazy things. It's going to be crazy things, crazy things, crazy things constantly, and outlandish, outrageous, absurd, ridiculous, sad, and tragic. Like the most horrible things are going to keep happening. The most tragic, the most horrific stories we've ever heard are going to keep happening. So it's not like that's stopping. But as still, as an individual, you know, depending on what your role is here to play, but, you know, healing and stuff like in the game, taking control of the game, taking control of the avatar. And then on the one part, I liked how they had the little part where, you know, somebody else was in control, because really that is, I mean, we really do have a higher self that is in control of this game. And we aren't in control. We really are just the player in the game. We are the avatar that they are playing in the game, that they created for the game. And so we're just playing that so that and the game is so much bigger than what we think. I mean, it's generational, it's age, it's universal, it's giant. And so everything is just so much more bigger, so much more magical, so much more supernatural. Everything is just so much bigger than what we think it is. So anyways, I think it's exciting, and I really, man, I want to go through that movie and just explain each thing. I couldn't even stop. Like the whole time I'm watching, it's like, oh my God, that's this. Oh my God, that's this. Oh my God. It's like it's fucking the whole thing right there, right in this movie that they put out, and even say Free Guy, and then they just twist the story a little bit and make it to where then, oh, this is about like a metaverse or something. Like, oh, so it could be such a magical place that we would all want to go there and visit the NPCs that have come to life in there. But everything is really, you know, all different realities. And you do go from reality to reality. There's nothing that can hold us back but ourselves. So anyways, just keep that in mind. But I don't know, I swear I may really do like that Mystery Science Theater or something. just videotape it and just talk the whole way through it and explain exactly what it means. I don't know. Maybe that's a total waste. I was just really into it today. So then I had to like, oh my God, I got to go talk about this. I want to explain the whole thing. But it was so much easier to explain it while I was watching it, because each thing that would happen, I'd be like, oh my God, that's this. Oh my God, that's this. And, you know, it's all there. And we are in a video game, and it has been controlled. And it's up to each player if they want to break free from the game. If you don't break free in life, you'll still break free. Like, you know, you're not going to be trapped here forever. But anyways, it's a lot more fun to break free while you're in the game. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.